Okay, family, we're going to go ahead and get started. And as we normally start, I would start out with prayer. And we pray. Surely I am being turned to thee, O Allah, being upright to he who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has he in this and my commanded. I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, and there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against my faults, Allah, for none grants protection against faults except thee. And turn away from me the evil and indecent morals, for none can turn from me the evil and indecent morals with thee. But guide me, O Allah, to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of morals with thee. O Allah, bless Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad as thou didst bless Abraham and the followers of Abraham, for surely thou art praised and magnified in thy midst. And make Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad successful as thou didst make Abraham and the followers of Abraham successful. O Allah, we beseech your aid, guidance, and protection. We seek refuge in thee from the accursed Satan. We seek refuge in thee from the wiles of the reactive mind. And we seek and invoke your spirit, your reality on this session today. Thank you, Allah, for allowing us to fast in your name. We make and break this fast for thee. And we thank you for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In their names we do pray. Ameen.
Amen.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. And in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Ramadan Mubarak. Again, assalamu alaikum. All right. We're going to go ahead on and try to get down to business. We got another session coming up, inshallah, and I wanted to go over one thing about what I had told you about yesterday about the 6 directions, and I may just save that until tomorrow. But we are on today we're on part 13. Allahu Akbar. We made it this far. We've been every day for 13 days. So we got how many days left? 17 days. We coming up on Tuesday. Was it 13, 14, 15? Yeah, we'll be just about halfway. We're just about halfway on Tuesday. So all praise is due to Allah for allowing us to participate in this wonderful fast called Ramadan. But it's a Ramadan. So we're on, actually we are on Surah 12, and I'm at Ayat 56. He said, and thus did we give Joseph power in the land. He had mastery in it wherever he liked. We bestow our mercy on whom we please, and we waste not the reward of the doers of good. And we are just reminded here in Quran that Allah, he is swift to account for what he promises. It says that he wastes not the reward of the workers and of the doers of good. And if we do good, of course, it's better that we do good from the highest of motives, but any level of duty, any level of good Allah is going to reward us with it, because it is the doing of good that is helping to to clear the path for the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And so uh, wasting not the reward of the doers of good is something that Allah definitely keeps in mind, and that he uh, is paying attention to, as we know, as we talked about Allah being uh, aware of the leaves falling from the trees, and all of the hair that's on our head. Uh, and it, if Allah is aware of the hairs on our head and the leaves on the trees, certainly he is very much aware of the good deeds that we do in his name. Okay. So as always, you can chime in, jump in. If I don't see you, I know sometimes I have my eyes closed. I don't see you. Sometimes it seems like I don't see you with my eyes open. but anyway, when you go to ayat 90, you see is the story, you're dealing with the story of Joseph. And I'm trying to cover it from the standpoint of the technology, and not to get so much into the storylines, except as to where the technology is bearing witness and fortifying and bolstering the truth of what we believe primarily, which is Islam. But right there, the last sentence of ayat 90 says, Allah never wastes the reward of the doers of good. So as we get this whole thing of doing good in our system, it's just like we put money into a savings account, because Allah, not only he says that he doesn't waste the reward of the doers of good. It talks about him not rewarding us for the best of what we did. Okay. All right. So we go on to Surah 13, the thunder. And then we see the recurring theme of Allah being the seer. And this is one of the things that with the technology has helped me with personally the most, is just my ability to see. And he talks about how, the closer you get to yourself, the more perceptics open up, the clearer you are able to see. And then that's part of what being clear is about, is that when you are clear, that basically means that many of the impediments that keep you from seeing things are removed, and so you naturally see things clearer. And then he also talks about clearing being like, if you perform a calculation on a calculator, you notice that when you get through with the thing, when you hit the equal sign, then it gives you the results. And in order for the next calculation to be accurate, you have to clear the calculator of the previous calculation. And so Mr. Hubbard was pointing out that in giving us an idea of what a clear is. Some people think that clear just gives you some kind of superpower, and maybe uh, it may well be that the your not being clear may be an impediment to some superpower you may already possess, but it doesn't give you superpower. It just rids you of the impediment of many of the impediments of accurate calculation of and mathematical uh, perception of the things that are right in front of you. So I still, I still at some point aspire to be clear. But I think the last time I talked to somebody, I heard somebody said that it costs somewhere about $30,000 to be clear. And so, if they could maybe if they could guarantee that I'm clear, and 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 the meter stop, so I don't want to be I don't want it to be like a cab ride from the airport, and then the cab driver loses place and I'm on the meter, see, because I know of some people that have spent their life savings trying to get clear, never got clear, and so not to discourage anybody or anything like that, but I'm hoping that we can at some point, Brother Luke Munn, welcome first of all, and I hope at some point we can develop a method of making clears. I was listening to the lecture that one of the lectures that he had in the factors, where he was talking about clear. He said one of the things that you have to have in order to, as an auditor, to make a clear, you really need to understand what it is that you're doing, and see the auditor's training that we have received at the church. To me, it teaches you how to audit, but it doesn't really teach you what auditing is. And so when you start getting into those higher levels on people's cases, you really need to have a good a good understanding. And another thing he was saying that you really have to have as an auditor, you have to have the tiaras in. So you have the tiaras in. He said you have to master the auditor's code. You have to master the code of the Scientologists. And he said that it would be good and helpful if you understood the axioms as well, because these things they are just tools that you use when you pop open the hood of the mind. And so I think that Allah is going to bless us, though, if we keep on, like, because I think this supreme wisdom, at least for me, I believe that it has caused me to personally make some quantum leaps in my understanding of the mind. And sometimes when I talk to some of the people, some of the Scientologists, they just amazed. But see, they don't really understand that Allah took us through this toil and this struggle and this suffering. It put us on a level where, our comprehension of things that will bring us out of this condition that we are in, and uh, uh, and actually prepare us for the kingdom of heaven. This preparation has been carefully and meticulously orchestrated by the creator of the heavens and the earth. And eventually, and this is some of the things that Mr. Hubbard was saying in some of his books. He was talking about somebody's going to come along later and come up with some of these techniques. He even talked about, he said that He said, it is conceivable. He said, right now it's not likely. He said, but it's conceivable that you will be able uh, uh, to have a group clearing where you do a group auditing session and then you can clear everybody right there. You see. And so these are the things that are possible, partially because we conceived them. They said, whatever you conceive and believe, you can achieve. And I really believe that. And I think that the infrastructure of thought, emotion, and effort, that infrastructure in itself can and will enable us to make leaps and bounds, because it is obvious to me that we have to tailor this technology, tailor this science, this body of knowledge for our people. See? And we have to develop institutions ourselves. Those of us who are progressive in thought. See, because when you look, if we've been in this thing for 10, 11 years, what progress have we made? Do we have anything? Do we have any means by which we can measure progress? And I'm not complaining, or nothing like that. I'm not whining. I guess maybe I am whining a little bit, but you know what I mean. But not in the spirit of condemning anybody, because we all the way we supposed to be. Allah got you where He wants you. He got me where He want me. And that I was just reading about how Allah, He said, whatever Allah says, He said, you can't speed it up a second. You can't slow it down a second. You see, Allah has this thing. I mean, He has this thing meticulously organized to where it's gonna do, like Ray Charles used to say, you're gonna make it do what it do, and that's what Allah is doing. He's making His universe do what it is supposed to do. And oftentimes, I guess we get a little bit anxious, and I know I do sometimes, because the more you learn and then you see the possibilities, you say, oh man, can we do this? Or can this happen? You would like to have it happen. Some of the things we were talking about the other day, we were saying about maybe one day we'll be able to own a yacht and we can be out on the sea, you know what I mean, with the calmness of the sea, and be studying this in order to realize this, make a reality, this thing of a black think tank, a think tank by which we can sort out ideas that will benefit our people on a mass level. I remember in one of the minister's lessons, the lessons given to the ministry, it asks us to come up with ideas to raise the dead by the thousands. And this is what we have to do, because right now it seems as though we're moving at a snail's pace. But when we see the way that Allah does it, it's almost like He ain't in no hurry. But He not worried about it. We're the one that's worried. And so it's just a beautiful thing to be living in this day and time.
Brother Bateen.
Yes, ma'am.
All praise is due to Allah. I'm gonna, if this is the right word, postulate. I would like to be a part of that think tank. Praise be to Allah, because you said, Brother Lukman, maybe we can come up with something. Can you hear me now? I'm talking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I hear you very much, sis.
Stay over there. I would like to be a part of that because you said, Brother Lukman, maybe we can come up with something. Those of us who are on the STW, come in on the STW, because you called this a think tank.
Well,
when I first came on, it was a think tank. And
actually it is. And I only point out, I only point Brother Lukman out because, he is a leader. And he has a group that he has direct influence on. But absolutely, everybody that's on this call, and there are gonna be some more people who you influence, that will all be a part of the think tank, because each and every one of you have your own individual contribution that you can make that nobody else can make. I can't make the same contribution. You already contributing, sister, and 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 I can't contribute like you. I can't contribute like Brother Lukman, and vice versa. We all, Allah made us all. He gave us all the gifts, and I guess I'm just kind of projecting, and as you as you were just saying, Sister Tina, just postulating this, but I think what we have to do, especially being somewhat on the cusp of evolution, we just have to be we have to be we just have to be patient, and because I benefit from each and every one of you. Everybody that has anything to say, I benefit from it. And especially a sister like you, sister, that obviously studies, and you're trying to, you are creating the kind of magnetic field that I want to be a part of, which is one that is in sync and in tune with Almighty God, Allah. And we are influenced by the great God that is about to make all things new. He's creating new thoughts, and that's what the minister talks about on the little trailer thing, that when the final call comes on the broadcast, the minister talking about new thought. And so this is what we are generating now, is new thought, and so yes, ma'am, yeah, and I'm sorry that I didn't that it came off like that, but like I said, I when I think about Brother Lukman, see, we've been talking about him for a couple of years. See, he didn't even know it. we've been talking about it, brother Wahid. Brother Wahid, it was the first to just really mention. He said we need to get with people that are like-minded, and like I say, we might not even agree 100%, but we agree enough where we can work together. See, and we don't want to fall into, as I had mentioned, we don't want to fall into this thing that a lot of that the Quran talks about, that they did not become divided until knowledge came to them. You follow what I'm saying? And very frankly, I have people, man, that, because I'm like this, and I might have told you this, I'm an only child. So like everybody is my brother and sister. You know what I mean? Just about everybody I have a relationship with is just like you, like my brother and my sister. And I've had people that in my study, I get really excited. That's how STW came about. I'm just really excited about this technology. And then but you run into people sometimes that circumstances just make it where, you got people that that need to mature. Not that I don't need some spiritual maturity. I'm still growing myself, but some of us, we still think like children. You know how when you in elementary school and then they ring the bell for lunch, and about how everybody rushes to try to be the first person in line. You, you understand what I'm saying? And so that's how a lot of us are when it comes to this technology, because we want to be first in line and not really recognizing what Allah wants. Allah wants this thing to be codified so that it can help his people. He don't give a damn about me or any of us individually at the expense of his people. See? So when we have to look at this Quran, look at these teachings, with a certain kind of seriousness and trust Allah that he is the best knower. That, like I say, he's not gonna give he's, and first of all, he's gonna reward us for the best of what we did. We're not gonna be able to fake it like a lot of our people like to fake it in this world. What Allah has for me, I'm gonna get. If it ain't for me, I'm not gonna get it. And I would serve myself best to accept accept whatever it is that Allah has got for me. And when I can accept that, and I ain't worrying about it, I ain't trying to compete with nobody. See, when you get into that spirit of competition, then, when that virus gets you, that I am better virus, when you start talking about I am better, now you cutting yourself off from the blessing that this particular person might be able to bless you with. When you get into we get into this self-righteous thing. Some people think that their idea is better just because they thought it. And so these are some of the types of things that we need to study ourselves, that we need to study, because this is part of the spiritual and mental operation that I believe Allah is ordaining us to do. So we have to work on ourselves first. And we have to understand that thing, that self-accusing spirit, the nature of the jinn, the nature of the angels, the nature of the demons, where Mr. Hubbard, he gives us a look, he gives us, sort of like bits and pieces and hints. And then sometimes he kind of goes deep into it. But I may see it and I may say that's deep, but it may be 10 times deeper than that. So I'm just saying, we just have to try to come together in the name of Allah. And that's the reason I was saying when we look at that auditor's code and just deal with the two things where it says, don't evaluate and don't invalidate, and find admiration. See, that's the big thing there. And see, that's the beauty of our minister. That's one quality that sticks out to me about him, is his ability to admire. You notice how he comes, he'll go to Mos Mariam, and then he'll get to talking about something, and then he'll think about a certain brother. Is brother so here? And then somebody say from the back, yes, sir, here, front and center. Then the brother runs up to the rostrum, and the minister he don't dress him down, he dress him up. He starts talking about all of the admirable qualities. So once I start when I start seeing, when I look at a brother Luke Mon or Sister Tina, or whoever else is on, when I see you, and then when I start admiring you, see, that's one of the, Mr. Hubbard teaches us that in the axioms too, is that when you believe it, see, if I believe what Allah said, that the black man is God, when I look at you and I really believe that you are God, and my belief gets me to the point that when I look at you, I'm looking for God in you. Then I begin to see, he said, because you, Mr. Hubbard said, you're not going to see it if you don't believe that it's there. You got to believe that it's there before you can see, before you can perceive anything. You got to believe that it's there first. So we just have to hang in there. I think that's just what we have to do. And absolutely, you are part of the think tank. Everybody's a part of it. And like I say, I just think one day, before too long, we are, we're not gonna have our main worry when we get up is gonna be how we gonna serve Allah today. How you gonna teach, the class? And when the messenger said that we're gonna be taught by the scientists, you are the scientists. Now, not that you're the only scientist, but you are part of the science. Why? Because you have distinguished yourself. You are the cream of the crop. See? And you are serious. All of you all are serious. That's why, man, and that's why I was just, wondering about committing to doing this every day, because I knew that if I made the commitment and then I don't show up, first of all, I'm breaking the auditor's code. The auditor's code tell you that if you make an appointment, you got to be there. You can't tell them, somebody talking to you about your case and what you trying to do, and then man, I can't be that today. I got the doctor's appointment. No, ain't no damn doctor's appointment. It's got to. I'm at the appointment in Allah, and I hope and I pray that through the words that Allah feed us to say, that Allah is doctoring on us, and so absolutely. So that, my postulate, Sister Tina, is that see, we're gonna be we're gonna be some of the first that really see that money, good home, friendship, and all walks of life. I think the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said he was in the East, in Saudi Arabia. He said he was in a house. This guy had this house. He said that the hallway, you could put a tractor trailer in the hallway. He could put an 18-wheeler in this man's hallway. I don't think I would require that just yet myself, but I'm just saying, the Quran keeps on reminding us of what Allah is going to do for us, because we are so much against the grain, the contrast. You just don't know, Sister Tina, how much you stick out. And I'm just picking on you a little bit, like I like to pick on Lukeman and Sister Denise and everybody else. But yeah, I'm picking on you because I see the value, or I see some of the value. I know I don't see all of the value, just like you see value in me. You think I don't appreciate that? You think that don't help me with my self-esteem? You think I ain't needy? You think I don't have no insecurities?
Yes, sir, Brother Pateen.
Yes,
Brother
ma'am.
Pateen.
Go ahead.
this is beautiful because I last week, Brother Lukeman's session, the video he had us watch of the minister, I got so much from that. The minister being the lead wire, you know how powerful that is, and tying that into what STW is teaching, tying that into the Holy Quran, tying that into the teachings. And yesterday you said communication. There's a book on Communication 55, I think you said, Dynetics 55.
Dynetics 55, yeah.
You can become clear with communication. That was key to me. I said, wow, where's that book? Because along with handbooks for pre-clears and something like that, with the teaching, what Brother Lukman is doing, what STW is doing, I can see it. And you saying what you just said about serving our people, serving Allah, that's what I want to do. So I can see it. I can see it.
Yes, ma'am. That's why we together. That's where all of these years, you know what I mean? All these years we've been without each other, but Allah has put us together now. And that's and I think that bears witness, but see, like Brother Lukeman, you know, when she talking about all of this stuff is one, well, then what does the Quran say? It say He, Allah, is one. So we should be able to see the oneness. You know, ain't nobody, I do what I do. You do, everybody does. You do what Allah puts on your mind and your heart and your soul to do. And if we are all trying to reflect Allah, there's going to be a certain amount of oneness there. And then Allah is going to bless us. You know, he's not going to bless one and overlook the other. And whatever he bless us with, he's the best knower. You know, but see, we just have to understand our minds. We have to come into a certain understanding of our minds, where our minds have been, I'll say, conditioned, the way the magnetic attraction of this world, the magnetic polarity of this world, we have become polarized with this world. So we have taken on many of the attributes of this world, many of the properties, many of the characteristics, that are very detrimental. And we just see that. So we have to be aware. We have to be aware of ego. We have to be aware of envy and jealousy. We just have to be aware of that, and because that's where it comes from. Most of the, it's right there. It's the jinn. That's a manifestation of the jinn. And that's one reason why we got it so bad as a people. So we put up a wall against that type of thing. See, Allah puts a lot of this, he let this evil be in us so that we can analyze it ourselves. We can examine, analyze, and correct. Because at some point in time in the future, you are going to have to examine maybe a whole territory of people, like the minister say, examine, analyze, and correct. So you start with yourself, because self-improvement is the basis for community development. So we start with ourselves. We critical on ourselves. Don't beat yourself up to a pulp. Just be able to just understand that there are certain things about ourselves that it is difficult to confront. And Allah made it like that. It's difficult because, see, once you begin to look at when you have to confront difficult things, then it stimulates your mental activity. It stimulates the soul to rise to higher heights. Because if it's difficult, that means it's pushing you to your threshold of ability. So the difficulty actually makes you stronger when you confront it. If you want to lift 220 pounds and then you work your way on up there, and then the more it's a gradient process. But we moving up. We only got about 10 minutes left. And so I did want to say, I wanted to remind us, I wanted to give everybody this technique. And I did it once before, and I can't remember exactly when I did it, when I shared it. And I was going to write it down, and I still will, but since I have not yet, I don't know, I've been having some really crazy energy during this Ramadan, and just haven't done it yet, but it's called the 6 directions. And what it is that you have whatever incident that you have, or whatever issue that you have. If you have an issue that you want to deal with in life, okay. Say if you sick, say if you're sick and maybe had and this is just an example, so you have to kind of fit your own scenarios in it. Say if you're sick and then you had diabetes and then they had to take a couple of toes off or something like that. All right. So how do you deal with that? With an auditor or without an auditor. Now that you can do it yourself, many of us should be able to do it. Sometimes we can get really broke up over stuff like that, and you just really need an auditor to help you, to assist you with that. But the technique that I'm familiar with that has proven effective to me is called 6 directions. So just for example, if that happened to you, what you would do is that particular incident, that facsimile, that unit facsimile is like what happened to you, and then and the whole unit, all of the different facsimiles that surround it. What you do is that you mock up a sphere as in, a circle, a 3-dimensional circle. You mock up a sphere, and then you put this unit facsimile in it. All of the data, the memories, the pain, now everything. You put all of that stuff in the facsimile and in the sphere. Okay, and what you do, and you just get you a good place, maybe where you make your prayers, you can sit down. And what you do is you put it in that sphere and that you mocked up, and then you put that sphere above your head, maybe 3 feet or so above your head. All right, once it's in place, then you take that sphere and you put it below your feet. All right, once it's in place, then you put it to your right side. All right, once it's in place, put it to your left side. Once it's in place, then put it in front of you, maybe about 3 feet or so in front of you. Then put it about 3 feet behind you. All right, that's 6 directions. Top, 1, bottom, 2, left, 3, right, 4, front, 5, 6, back. So what you do, you just allow yourself. See what you're doing. You're focusing on this thing. You're lightly focusing on it. All right. So once you get the whole thing, you do that for a while, and then you should start feeling a little something. All right. And then one thing that you can do too is that when you're doing this, you break the incident down into the components of thought, emotion, and effort. All right. Because see, this bothering you, it's got to be bothering you. You lost some toes. Then see, you got some thoughts that you're thinking. What was the thought that you have? What do you think about somebody that don't have toes? How does this affect you? You know what I mean? You think about it in terms of thoughts and the decisions that might have come with it. When did you decide that you were going to have this operation or whatever it is? So you got these thoughts, all right? And then also, so then you have, in addition to that, you have emotions. You have an emotional perspective. You have the perspective of thinking, of mental, and then you have the perspective of emotion. All right. So what you do is you become cognizant. You look and you examine your emotions on that particular thing. And then last, whatever it is, your effort. Your effort. How did your body react? I know you might have some cringing or something about the body position. And I forgot what they call that. It was anesthesia. I think it was anesthesia. But anyway, in book 1 auditing, it's like the somatic strip. So what you do, you can break it down. You can put your thoughts in the sphere, then run it. Maybe run it for at least 10, try to run it for 10 minutes, as long as you can. Or if you start to feeling a little better. See, that's what we were talking about. Yesterday we were talking about the calm lag. So when you start feeling better, then you're always aware of yourself. When you start feeling better, then you can move to the emotional. So you put your emotions in the sphere, and then you run that in 6 directions till you begin to extrovert, till you begin to where your mind is not so fixed on it and not so glued to it. All right, and then you run the physical, the effort of your body. What effort is in that unit facsimile? You know what I mean? Or just saying, you might be all clambered up or whatever the case may be. You become aware of your body position and so forth and so on, like that. And that's one of the things that Sister Jacqueline does in the end of session. She said, well, think about the stuff that happens with your body. See? So anyway, do that. We will think about that and practice it if you get a chance. And we can talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But I do not want to go over. We only got 2 minutes, so go ahead and say it right quick, Sister Denise.
Oh, the only thing I want, you said top, bottom, left, right, and what's the other 2?
Front and back. So
top,
okay. Top, bottom, right, left. Top, bottom, right, left, front, back.
Okay. That's all I want.
Right. So just whatever issue that you want to deal with. If your children are acting up, put out whatever issue you got in that sphere and you work it. And tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about the mechanics, what's actually going on when we do that. So right now, Sister Jacqueline, if you will take us through the end of session.
Yes, sir.
We'll close out and get ready for Brother Luke Man's session.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Take a few minutes, prepare yourself for the end of session, please. Thank you. Rapidly sketch over this session just ended. Begin. Thank you. Sketch over what you have been doing again with particular attention to how you have been sitting. Begin. Thank you. Go over the period of this session with regard only to what you have been doing with your hands and things in the exterior world you have heard during this session. Begin. Thank you. Fix your attention upon a pleasant object near you now. Begin. Thank you, and thank you for your participation.
All praise is due to Allah. So we will go ahead on and end this session with prayer. I would, Brother Clinton, would you close us in prayer?
Yes, sir, certainly.
All right.
Assume the position of prayer. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. Master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and Thee alone do we beseech for Thine aid, O Allah. Guide us on the right path, on the path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed favors, not on the path of those upon whom Thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after hearing Thy teaching. Ameen.
Amen. All right, brothers and sisters, go in peace. And then we have I'm going to probably switch right on over to Brother Luqman's session. And all praise is due to Allah. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan
Ramadan
Quranic.
Quranic, sir.
That's right. Okay.
Ramadan Quranic.
All right. So I hope everybody good on the 6 directions, I hope. Try it. It'll do something, but you just got to be patient. You know what I mean? You just can't expect, to be able to levitate when you stop. It just takes a little while, but this is this is not no voodoo, and I didn't make it up. This is actually from Scientology. All right. So Allah bless you. We'll see you on the next call. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sir.